So, yes, this is the fourth session of She Talks, but we feel the same excitement because every time the speakers raise the bar a little bit more, a little bit more. And today, the speakers who are dazzling us with their presence are first up, Astha Tatia. Astha is reminding us through her talk that we are the creators of our thoughts, belief, and reality. And that in every moment we have a choice, like Astha had when she moved from claustrophobia to scuba diving. To give a little brief about Astha, Astha is a happiness coach and author of the book Survive or Thrive. She coaches corporate leaders to build their happiness muscle. That's very, very intriguing and interesting, Astha. So, we are excited to hear from you about how to move from claustrophobia to scuba diving. Stage is all yours.
Thank you. 2017. I and my daughter Kavya, 6 years old, we entered the elevator, all dressed up, excited to go to the next level of the mall. So we got into the elevator, the doors closed, and we started chit-chatting. It was just the two of us. And we got busy planning which shops are we going to visit, what are we going to eat. And Kavya said, Mom, I'm going to have an ice cream today. And bam, the elevator came to a halt. Now, Kavya stood there wondering what had happened. And I, without blinking, I started banging the doors. I was scared, shivering, shaking, sweating already. The banging got harder, louder, faster. Yeah, sometimes with closed fists, then open palms, and I was yelling at the top of my lungs, can somebody get us out of here? Can you please open the door? I was going to suffocate to death. I knew that. My little one, she stood there watching me aghast. Her smiling, twinkling face had changed to a straight face. She was worried, and yet she was trying to put up a brave face. She walked up to me, held my hand, and said, Mom, it's fine. We'll be okay. We'll be out soon. It didn't matter, actually. In that moment, as if I couldn't sense anything. I could say nothing, do nothing, hear nothing. Only thing that mattered for me in that moment was I need to get out of this elevator. In a while, the doors opened and there stood the guards who helped us get out. And while I was relieved that I'm finally going to live now, I blasted the guards. And Kavya gazed at me, shifting her gaze from me to the spectators and back to me. Ladies, this was one of the numerous interactions that I've had with claustrophobia. Claustrophobia, an anxiety disorder in which the extreme irrational fear of confined spaces can lead to a panic attack. I would not sit on the window seats of an aircraft. I would only be on the aisle seats. And even on the aisle seat, if the air hostess stood next to me with her food trolley, I would go restless. I would not enter crowded elevators. I went to Shirdi, it was crowded, returned without darshan. I would not sit in the middle of the back seat of the car, always next to the window with my head popping out for fresh air. If while dressing up, a cloth got stuck in my face, oh, I was doomed. Something that started as a mild fear when I was a little girl, maybe 5, 6 years old, grew so massive, so severe with time that no day would pass when I did not have a near-death experience. And I would cry and howl like a baby right in the middle of everyone, a baby who didn't even know what was happening. I started to feel scared of confronting what the day had in store for me. And you know what? Life was pretty creative at throwing the most innovative ones at me. But I had to do something. So finally, I went to a psychiatrist and he prescribed me some pills. He said, 15 minutes prior to, whenever you're about to enter or confront such a situation, just pop in some pills. Quite tricky, I never took the pills, and I don't even know why. Cut to 2018. I completed 32 years with claustrophobia. The fights, the resistance only got stronger. November 2018, my first ever girls' trip to Goa. Now, while this trip marked lots of firsts, but the most significant one was scuba diving. Now, when my friend proposed to me, I thought it's going to be some fun activity, nice, let's go ahead. I agreed. And then we went to the spot where, it was to happen. And we got into a boat that was to take us to the diving spot. Now, on the boat, the instructor was giving us all the instructions. And once she finished, she asked, who goes first? And I jumped with my hand up, all excited. Then came the scuba wetsuit. Now, it was quite well fitted, but somehow I managed. And then came the mask, which covered almost half my face, including my nose. Yeah. And then the regulator and the tank, which would help me breathe underwater. So now the mouth was also covered. Yeah. And I had to learn to breathe through the regulator, not use my nose. Oh my God. I had realized by this time that I had committed a blunder by acting oversmart and volunteering to go first. Too many triggers for me, yeah. But it was done. I was all geared up and they pushed me into the choppy waters. The sea was rough that day. I was in. And my coach was already there in the waters waiting for me. And he started guiding me. I had no intention of listening. I mean, I just couldn't get myself to listen to him. And as the water took me up and down with it, the same feeling started to arise, only multiplied by 100. The sensation was so strong, it was an attack that was massive. And I was yelling, get me out of here. I don't want to dive. I'm done. He tried explaining, but I was just jumping and dancing all around, yelling. And then he asked me to put my head underwater. I had no choice, so I listened to him. And as I put my head underwater, underneath, the water was absolutely still. And that was my moment of awareness. I slowed down, and that gave me more time to be present. Yeah. And when I brought my head up, pulled it back up, I was calmer. The water continued playing its games. I was calmer because I had stopped resisting what was. And that gave way to acceptance. Yeah. In that moment, I could sense exactly how I was feeling. I could sense how claustrophobia had started to tighten its grip on me. And I was okay with it. I was okay with it. Well, yes. And that was the game changer. That's where came in my third A, alternative choice. I could distinctly see the choices that were available to me in that moment. Either I get out, do not dive. And by the way, there were fellow divers who had opted out, so I had company. But then there was the second choice available to me, and that was to dive despite the fear. And I chose the second one. Yeah. And as we descended, went deeper into the waters, I was aware of the fear. And I kept shifting my attention to the experience, kept saying to myself, it's okay, and kept reinforcing my trust in my coach. The fear kept coming back, overpowering me. I said, it's okay, and kept shifting my focus. And I went deeper and deeper. And I was awestruck by what I saw around me. Orange, purple, blue, white, small, big, different patterns, shapes, sizes, beautiful. There were just fishes all around. Yeah, some alone, some in groups, and it was as if we were playing together. There were beautiful natural coral reefs. The water didn't seem alien anymore. The sound of my breathing through the regulator was music. I and my coach, we were chatting, like literally talking to each other, and I was posing for pictures. When we came out, my coach said, I was one of the most comfortable divers who was having fun underneath water. Yes, I had fun. I had fun experiencing my capability to manage myself and enjoy, be in that moment, something I had not known I could possibly do. Awareness, acceptance, alternative choice. That's what it is for me every time claustrophobia hits me. My journey of identifying my deep rooted belief. That's what claustrophobia was, confronting it and then creating something new for myself. Oh, I'm enjoying life now. Yeah. And today, I am facilitating the journey for so many leaders out there who are stuck in their deep rooted beliefs, unaware, unable to express their higher potential, and not knowing what they're missing out in their lives. You know what? It is liberating to go out there and experience a breakdown, because it's then in that moment that you can create a breakthrough. Breakthroughs do not happen by running away from your beliefs, but by looking into their eyes with love. Survive or thrive. You choose. Thank you.
Awesome.
Unmute and clap.
Please unmute and clap, everyone.
Awesome.
Fantastic. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
amazing.
Splendid. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Astha. Thank you so much for sharing. You painted such real pictures. You every time took us into the lift, then under the water every time. Very beautifully painted, all the pictures. Beautiful. And and how powerfully you took storytelling into a summary and takeaway of 3 A's of awareness, acceptance, and alternate choice. Very powerful message. Loved it.